What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Spot Callers. What episode is this, Cyrus? I literally cannot remember.
I think
five,
this
right?
is episode. Yes, it is 5. I think it's 5.
Episode 5 of Spot Caller. If we get this wrong and it's right on the actual title, that's going to be hilarious. I am your host, Justin. I'm
just
here.
Edit it out.
Editing that shit out. I'm Justin. I'm here with Cyrus. As you already know, we're bringing you the latest, greatest, weirdest of pro wrestling. It is our March episode. We're moving through the months here, Cyrus. We're getting through it.
It seems like we always hit like the last of the month, but don't worry, we're always going to be here. We're never going to be late.
Well, see, I love that we do it once a month. It gives us that wiggle room where I can procrastinate.
Yeah.
See, like, you gotta remember, Cyrus, like,
you're a busy guy.
I have to do a show. So I'm watching 7 hours at least of wrestling.
Yeah.
Every week. I have to do late fees, which is I'm watching 3 to 4 movies at a time. It's sometimes, and then just like general just watching shit. So
this shit,
give me a show like this this month. You can see why I'm not I'm not very excited to get into this. This is right. Possibly we've done good show.
The disclaimer.
This is a free show, man. This is a free show that has we're actually going to put the link in the bio for this episode on.
Yes.
And it is Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, episode 381 that we're doing this week. Did you think, Cyrus, when you picked this episode that this show was 2 hours?
I didn't check the timestamp. I just thought, it's like the full show is available. So I thought, it's going to be a full show.
Yeah. So it ends up being I was familiar with Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I thought this would be a special episode of it. I was familiar of the fact that this is an actual like TV show that does air and has commercials and whatnot in it. It is very interesting that we watched this show this month. Why'd you pick this show, Cyrus? We're gonna get to it, but I have to get I have to pick your brain about this real quick.
Okay, so I decided to pick the show because I just watched the David Arquette versus Nick Gage match that happened in last November, and I remember just going on Twitter, and then I started seeing the feud between RJ City and David Arquette. And, RJ City put it all into like the moment thing on Twitter. So, you could just scroll through it, and then, you could really get caught up on the story and all that. And I thought it was entertaining for the most part. David Arquette, like, you get to see the start of why David Arquette came back, and I thought it was actually pretty entertaining.
It was a Twitter beef. It was like some type of Twitter beef.
Right? Yeah, it was a weird Twitter beef that ended up on TMZ, and then David Arquette comes back, and it was entertaining while it lasted, while Nick Gage cut his parade very short with a light tube. And I just thought, maybe it would be interesting to just watch this.
Yeah, when I saw this on the run sheet, that's a free show. We don't have to do any tracking down of the show. Just interesting show. We're gonna get to that in a second. Cyrus, what have you been doing this month? What have you been watching? What have you been going through in life? All that.
Okay, so I know I do this podcast, but I haven't been watching wrestling all month until yesterday to watch the show. I mainly just been playing Devil May Cry 5 for the most part. Nothing else is really going on. I go to work and then, just do life things. I haven't been watching NXT UK or anything WWE. No New Japan Cup.
I didn't watch a single match. Well, I lied. I watched Naito Ibushi. I went 4 and a fourth on it. I went 4 and a fourth. It was a good match.
Yeah, my friend was telling me that it was a really good match, and then I saw that Naito got eliminated, and then I was just like, oh, okay, so I'm not gonna watch.
Yeah, and if you're
it killed my interest because one, it was a spoiler, and then like
and if you're not familiar, I guess skip forward. I don't know when, however long, but Okada does win New Japan Cup. I don't think this was a surprise to anyone. He's going to be facing Jay White and MSG in April next month during Mania weekend. I mean, it's pretty much what we expected, right? I think New Japan is in this very weird position where they're trying to build up, new stars, and they're trying to kind of regain their footing after the Elite left.
Yeah, it's sure as hell like them trying to get their footing back after the Elite left, but like they're still not building any new talent because they're not really bringing in any like fresh faces. I would say that it was a shocker for New Japan Cup that I saw like I think there's like two young lions that are like actually in the tournament.
Yeah,
and I thought that was cool. That's how you like build new stars, but it's just like there's only two of them, and like.
And Mikey Nichols.
They got eliminated. Yeah, and they got eliminated first round, whatever. It doesn't matter. So, and they're probably not even going to be on the MSG card or any like big event after that. And it's just, I think New Japan takes like really long to build new talent. So the talent pool gets really weird because like you got to start as a young lion, get your face kicked in by like all the old dudes for 3 years, then you go on excursion and then another 3 years or whatever, and then like you come back and hopefully you're not damaged goods by then.
I did see, I had been tracking it and looking at some of the results, and MJ, shout out to MJ, he has been telling us like day by day what's going on. He's braver than the troops. That guy is braver than watching some of these shows.
What a trooper. He is watching everything and keeping us posted, even though we never asked, but like
no, it's appreciated.
He informs us anyway. Yeah.
It's appreciated. It's very much appreciated. That's just like kind of like one of the biggest shows. I mean, it's New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
A show over Mania weekend, so it looks like all eyes are on the NXT Takeover show, on the MSG ROH and New Japan show, and things of that nature. But I think they're really like in wrestling right now, all eyes are kind of fixated on WWE and like what they're about to do next. And AEW is kind of like a lot of these like smaller promotions are kind of getting not much of a look lately.
Yeah. At this point, it's just like, oh, are you still watching New Japan after the Elite left? And like, it's whatever. But like, honestly, all like news outlets are like, well, most major news outlets are just focusing on WWE and like whatever AEW is doing. And right now they're just booking a lot of talent and not really doing much else because they don't have a show till like May.
Yeah. You talked about Devil May Cry 5.
Yes. I'm having a good time.
We're having a great time with this game, I say. I don't think I've well, Resident Evil 2 I cracked out on. I think I play Resident Evil 2 every moment of the day. Cyrus, you were there with me as I was speedrunning every night.
Yeah, it was really fun. I did buy Resident Evil 2 as well, but I don't know. I definitely got into the hype because a survival horror game's never been like I never been good at them. But I was just like, oh, maybe I'll like give Resident Evil 2 a crack, whatever. I'm an older individual now, so like maybe my brain could like adapt or whatever. And like, nah, I'm still trash.
Oh my god, you can definitely beat the game. I think it's definitely easy for you to beat.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just the enjoyment is not there. I'm just not good at survival horrors at all. So it's hard for me to have like a great time playing the game.
Cause you're scared, bro.
No, I'm trash.
Well, it's you and Robbie. I think like Robbie's never gonna beat this game. I'm pretty sure he's never gonna beat the game.
Oh yeah, no, Robbie's never gonna beat the game.
I would love to hear Mark play Resident Evil 2.
Oh my! Hey man, we gotta RNC get the the Twitch going. Get the Twitch going. Just sit Mark down. Go on Resident Evil, deer meat.
But Devil May Cry 5 is definitely like something up both of our alleys.
Yes.
I think that it's pretty much like the game we've been waiting for years for. Like I think every year at E3, I was like, if they don't announce Devil May Cry 5, this E3 is nothing. So every E3 was trash until last year when they announced it. I just think it's just such a great and really just a deep game. I think I'm finding more and more every time I play it and every time I replay it. Like now I'm kind of I'm juggling a human playthrough. Human's like the easiest mode. I don't know if you touch human yet, but it's literally you're the Terminator.
Cakewalk.
You're literally the Terminator.
Like, motherfucking enemies take like 3 hits, and Devil May Cry 5 is just like a breath of fresh air. Ugh! Wow, that came out weirdly.
A brush of fresh air. Wow,
a brush of fresh. But because I would say the past 5 years we've all been. There's just been a bunch of those Souls likes. Like we had Demon Souls and we got Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Neo. Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Neo, like Hollow Knight, even whatever, if it falls into that, I'm not too sure. Just like games that are like insanely difficult, or like the main appeal is like being insanely difficult and watching people do like no hit runs or like
it's not stylish
builds straight. It's not stylish, and it's not hack and slashy either. Like you really have to like time your movements. It's not flashy at all. So I really appreciate Devil May Cry for bringing back that feeling, because shit is big fun.
It's definitely a game that we are both very, very obsessed with. Something I'm not obsessed with is watching David Arquette wrestle ever again. We're going to go ahead and get into Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, episode 381. It's 50 minutes. I mean, it's a very brisk show. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's 3 matches on the show. Of the 3 matches, I didn't mind 2 of them, but only one of them got time. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like a mixed bag in a lot of ways. We've been watching like 2 months in a row, just watching like very weirdly edited shows, and this kind of proves it. The show starts out with the tag teams in the main event, Reno Scum and the Soul Burners. Great names there. Cutting a promo, and there's like a kind of like. Ooh. And these 2 teams are one of them I believe the Reno Scum, Luster the Legend, and Adam Thornstowe are the champions. And they're basically cutting a promo against Ryan Taylor and Tomas, the Soul Burners. There's a lot of, and I want to talk about like just certain things about I noticed about the show. There's a lot of fake crowd noise in the show.
Oh yeah, man. Jesus, like you could see the crowd actively going up for like the David Arquette match because like I guess like jokes, but like every other like for this opener, brother, pipe the noises in.
and just to kind of like, well, we'll get to that in a second, but the show starts out and it looks like a really, really cool venue. Like I really like the entrance set. It's very much like looks very professional as far as I'm concerned. Just as far as everything looks. The first match on the show is Chris Bay versus Slade Thompson. This is apparently a best of 7 tournament or series where we're jumping in on like the 6th match.
I don't even want to see the other matches if they're anything like this one. I try not to like shit on wrestlers because like, oh man, like I can't do it myself. So like whatever athlete, but like Jesus Christ, man, what the fuck? Very,
very preliminary match, so to speak. One thing that's interesting and very tough about doing shows like this where we kind of just hop in wherever is that we don't have any context as to why or when. And it's very tough for me to go back and like do research and figure out why they're doing this. Did you find anything on this? I couldn't.
I certainly think it's commentary's job to like really catch people up. And they do sort of some of it for this match. Like they do callbacks to spots like when Chris Bay is literally going to double stomp this man's skull into the canvas. they're just like, oh, that happened in match 5 or 3. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. I would not take that bump at all. But yeah, commentary just says like they just have beef. It's a best of 7, and they're kind of just doing it. I think commentary should have spoke more about the history of some of it, because they are on TV.
They're too busy trying to crack jokes on this.
Yeah, they're doing their stand-up set, and it's just like, please tell me about the competitors and like this match I'm watching, please. Like, be the color commentary that like fills me in this sort of match.
Yeah, in this match particularly, there's like a LeBron James. They mentioned that basically since Slade Thompson was down 2-3, what was it, like 2-3 or something like that, or 3-4 or something like that. Or not 3-4. It was like 2. It was something. He was down in deficit. Like he was down like a very large deficit, and he basically said that he compared himself to LeBron. And the commentary goes back and forth for at least 2 minutes talking about the fact that there's a real LeBron, and I was like, okay,
yeah. A lot of this commentary, like, kind of, I just tuned out because they're literally just saying stuff, and none of it is really about the match. Like, not even like play-by-play commentary is like really saying anything. And I experienced some of the best commentary teams, like from ROH. What is it? David
Prazak and Lenny Leonard. Yeah.
GOAT commentary team. Holy shit. You can watch any DVD, get caught up real quick. They pinpoint all the stuff that happened in like previous matches or whatever, and like here is just you get no background context, so it's kind of just a match that's just happening, and it's not a good match that's just happening. So
I didn't hate this match. I thought that they both guys worked very hard.
Yeah,
there were a lot of pretty cool spots. I in particular, I really liked the sunset flip stunner spot. It was really cool.
Oh yeah,
cool. And I really think I like Chris Bay's look, not so much Slade Thompson's look. I thought Slade Thompson's look was kind of blah.
Just like a, like, what would it be? He sort of has like the Ty Dillinger kind of look. He has like the top knot, the shaved sides, but it's like dyed and
dyed pink.
I don't know. So dyed pink and certain rainbow colors. Commentary mentions that. And says it's not very manly, so problematic for you to decide.
A little bit. Especially coming from Hollywood, it's just like that's not surprising. That's surprising.
I don't know. When Slade Thompson came out during his entrance and he said "Swaderade," I was completely turned off by his character. I was just like, that is one of the lamest shit I ever heard. But Chris Bay is cool.
He's from Virginia.
I would like to see. Oh, what? Hometown hero.
He's from Alexandria. He has worked Impact and several other promotions. I didn't get too much on Slade. I would imagine that he's been around probably locally in LA, but not too much information on either of these guys. They're very new, and they're very, I guess, they're breaking through. I mean, I would imagine like if push came to shove, they'd probably show up in PWG as well if they're going to stick in California, in the SoCal area. But then again, the match worked through a commercial break, so around 10 minutes. Slade wins the match, of course, ties the series up. I gave it 2.5 stars.
I gave it just 2 stars. I think the finish, that was like the small cradle finish, I was just like, oh man, really? I don't know. Like the match was going really well. They were really like putting the work in, despite all the negative things I said. They were working really great, and for it to just end in a small cradle, I was just like, oh man, it just like slowed down all the momentum that like they were working through. But I understand for the story that he had to like tie it up, and like he was kind of like at his wit's end, so he just had to like do a small cradle.
Yeah, there was a lot of desperation here, especially in the midway through the end of the match, that I really liked a lot. I would be interested in seeing, the end of that, but not sit through David Arquette matches. After the commercial break, they said they were going to catch you up to the David Arquette RJ City feud.
And they don't.
They don't. I'm guessing this was not shown in the re-airing, of the free re-airing of the show. But if you don't know, RJ City and David Arquette, they basically last summer rather, started kind of like a Twitter feud where they were both making coffee in their sweatpants. They ended up meeting each other and hanging out,
getting on TMZ.
Yeah, it ended up hanging out in their underwear, which was odd to me.
Yeah,
it was just like very odd. It was, I hate to say this, it's pretty much prime example of white people shit. This is not something that I even knew I knew nothing about this. Like I went through, as you said to me earlier, I had found the Twitter moments of it yesterday, and just for research, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. RJ City, I would imagine this got him some publicity, but RJ City pretty much known, in the indies, and he also is he's on TV. Did you know he's on a TV show as well? I
didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's a Disney Channel too. No, it's a Nickelodeon. It's a Nickelodeon show.
Oh man, big star.
Yeah, he's actually an actor. He plays the character of Gildar on Nickelodeon Splat a Lot.
Splat a Lot.
Never heard of it. Never seen it.
I don't watch Nickelodeon anymore. Pro wrestling kind of just took like all my time, so I don't watch TV anymore.
Yeah. So this match has been pretty much built up, for months before they finally got in the ring. RJ City comes out first. And when I was watching this, I was like, oh, wow, they're getting right to it. It's not even going to main event the show. This is just literally going to be it.
I honestly thought it was going to main event and get like a lot of time, but it doesn't main event, but it does get a lot of time.
A whole lot of time. It was like 15 minutes in the show, and I was like, okay, we got another like 40 minutes left. I'm wondering what they're gonna, how long this match is gonna take. So of course they give you a 5-minute RJ City promo, which is the equivalent of
buying time.
Yeah, buying a lot of time. He cuts a pretty bad promo, introducing himself, which I get because there's probably a lot of new eyes on the on the promotion that night. Yeah. But for an actor, he had literally no confidence on the mic out there that night.
Like his delivery is weak,
to say the least.
It's not very convincing. You can usually you can tell wrestling's predetermined, whatever. Like promos are scripted, but it's just like you can tell that he's like acting. It's not coming from like the heart. Yeah. Like a Miz promo, it's scripted and he's like acting, but like it's kind of like his himself is in it. It just seems like RJ City is just like reading off the script, very over dramatized. I wouldn't
even say it's over dramatized. He just sounds like he's like unsure of what he's saying out there. And
his heart ain't in it.
He like runs down David Arquette's wife and his friends. He introduces, and I had no clue what the name of his finisher was. He says it's Knee Arthur and pulls on his
Knee Arthur,
his knee pad to show a picture of B Arthur. At this point, I was literally ready to cut the show. I think I did cut the show off and said, I'll watch this one later. As soon as David Arquette comes out, got to say, very short tights. I think they were too short for him.
David looks awful.
Terrible tattoos.
I don't even think he tried to get in shape for this match at all, or any of the previous matches. I'd say he looked better. He looked better for his Nick Gage match because I guess he was wearing actual wrestling gear. It just seems like he's just wearing like some swim trunks he found and somebody else's like knee pads. Not great. His entrance is embarrassing. He tries to stand on his pedestal.
Yeah, again, to say the least, he's kind of playing the role from Ready to Rumble, which if you've listened to the show Late Fees, we did review late last year. His Jimmy the King character was kind of like in full display here, and he was trying to kind of play to the crowd and stuff like that. Again, looks terrible. Match starts before I even get to the match. Did this feel like this was literally like remember the episode, or I don't know if you've ever seen the show Boy Meets World when Vader was in the show.
Yeah,
This is what it felt like. It felt like it wasn't, of course this isn't real, but this doesn't even feel like a work. This didn't even feel like a work or a shoot. It just felt like a TV show.
Yeah, it doesn't fill the void. It doesn't feel like you're watching wrestling. It's not a good match. So like I don't think I have much notes on it because I just like had my head down in shame for most of the time.
Yeah, match starts with RJ literally knocking David off of the pedestal. David is bumping like a maniac here, by the way. The whole match. He is his first bump in like returning to wrestling in like God knows how many years, and his first bump he lands on his fucking neck. Yeah, he literally flies off the pedestal, flies out of the ring in one like fluid motion, which like it just looks terrible. RJ is laying in strikes on him. I don't know I don't know if David was telling RJ to lay it in a little bit heavier than usual, or if this was just David just bruises easy, but he had bruises all over himself. Like he had bruises on his back, his chest, all of that.
I'm sure like when they're backstage, David was just like, don't hold back. And RJ said, hey, all right, I won't.
Yeah. And the thing is like the build up to this was so silly that I didn't even feel like it warranted how brutal RJ kind of got in this match, where it's just, but I mean, it was still a typical kind of like, and I don't even know if it was brutal. I just think David's selling just made me feel like he was like getting his ass beat.
He is a good seller, I'll tell you that.
And it was very surreal.
Dolph Ziggler, who? Because David Arquette is flopping. He is like, and it's real because like David Arquette hasn't been wrestling like in forever. Like this is his first match back, so you could see how like exhausted he gets in like the first like 3 minutes of the match. You get one commercial break, and you could see that he's like breathing fairly heavy. I don't know. I think this match went too long for him, and it was like too brutal for him. I think they should have just kept it at the jokey aspect, like how this whole thing really started,
Well, and there is comedy in this match, and I'm not just talking about David Sharpshooter.
Oh no, stop. That sharpshooter? I started how? Oh my God.
He puts in literally one of the worst sharpshooters I've ever seen. Worse than The Rock's sharpshooter.
Oh my God. Yo, hold up. I think I got it in my notes. I think that's like I was just like, who has a better sharpshooter, Shawn Michaels or David Arquette? This is legendary sharpshooter.
Legendarily bad sharpshooter, yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a clover leaf, but like it becomes a sharpshooter, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
It was terrible. It looks awful. I feel bad for RJ for having to sell that, but he brought this on himself. It was, I mean, pretty much the match is like a basic slow-paced babyface heel match. A lot of coming from under with David Arquette, and a lot of like even his offense was just like pretty terrible. It was very cringeworthy and very limited.
His striking ability isn't too great. I think he just should have stuck with chops. I think that would have like did it well for him, but he was trying to throw some punches, but looked very sloppy. His super kick, no man, no super kicks, bro.
The big and what, just to kind of not even to completely shit on David himself, like we know he's not a wrestler, we know he's doing this for fun.
Yeah,
I will say that he did have a grasp on just the basic psychology of the fact that like this shit hurts, and he sold like crazy for RJ and gave him a lot that he didn't have to, and I think he actually grasps the psychology a lot better than like a lot of people do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna shit on David too hard because I watched the Nick Gage match and I was very entertained by that. Especially, and it had like the death match aspect to it. I thought that match was a lot more fun and much more brutal.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think David had a better grasp like there because I think he was like in his third match in. After this, I think David and RJ City they end up tag teaming at some point. we're not going to get to that. We're not watching that.
Thank God. Thank God. Well, I mean, David even does like a terrible diamond cutter, which is like
he does a diamond cutter like 2 minutes in, and he doesn't go for a cover. And I was just like, oh, come on, son! Like it for sure popped the crowd. And they do mention how like DDP trained him and stuff like that. But I think after cutter, I definitely think you should like try to pin. But end
of the match. The match comes from David trying to do the King's Crown move. Once again, another reference to Ready to Rumble. He tries to come down. He literally gets blasted with the knee Arthur. I don't know why he put his face. He put his head into the knee, coming off of the top rope. Gets blasted. That shit was brutal. 1, 2, 3. RJ leaves, and after like a couple of seconds, you see David get up and leave. You see the hugest knot on David's face. Looks like the size of a baseball. Not fun at all.
And then the camera cuts to like Dave's wife, and like everybody's like standing and like applauding, and she's like puzzled. She's just like, "Is he okay?" She looks very confused.
My thing with this is that what did CWFH get? What did they earn? Like, what did they gain out of this? Like, I don't think they got any bigger. I don't think they got any bigger for doing this.
Yeah, I definitely think GCW benefited more from the having David Arquette on their show. But Jesus Christ, I don't know.
I gave the match a 1 star for effort.
I gave it a 2 for Dave's effort, and I did laugh at some points. So I was just like, I guess I consider myself entertained.
Very generous.
Oh, man.
Very generous.
Yeah. I don't know. That sharpshooter threw me in for a loop, man. That shit had me dying.
So in case I hadn't completely blown my brains out from that match, we did have a main event in the last 15 minutes. It was for the United Wrestling Network Tag Team Championship. Try saying that 3 times fast. Reno Scum versus the Soul Burners. Did you get through this match?
I got through it. Did you?
Yeah, I did. Pretty easy match.
Cut it off.
Pretty easy match to get through. I'll say that much. But the fake crowd noise was so crazy during this match, all through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't like I know that like retaped episodes of like SmackDown or something like that. They'll pipe in the crowd noise because if it's taped, they can do that. Like the episodes they do from like UK and stuff. But guys. This is like it sounded like WWE 2K19. Like it literally sounded like they were in a room cheering. Dog, it was crazy.
And then you could like look at the crowd and you could see like nobody's clapping or like you don't see any mouths moving.
Yeah.
Like the room is fairly lit, so you could see faces and you could see like the details on their face and like nobody's moving.
But the match itself is pretty solid. A lot of it was Reno Scum would pretty much work over Tomast or Tomsate or Tom is it is Tomastay.
Yeah.
And then when he finally got the hot tag to Ryan Taylor, you saw a Doomsday Tope, you saw a 450 splash and that which was pretty cool.
They're full spot monkey for this one, but I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either.
For the most part, watching this match, I was just like, man, Reno Scum could like I wouldn't be surprised if I saw like either of these like teams show up in PWG at some point. What is his name? Ryan Taylor, the other person that's on the Soul Burner team.
Yeah,
man, he could work. I ain't gonna lie. He's a performer.
Really great hot tag.
Yeah, his hot tag is great. I think his offense is like fantastic. Pull up in Battle of Los Angeles, man. I think he's a very good single. I think he would be a very good singles competitor.
Yeah, and especially in this final stretch of the match where they all hit their finishers, and then eventually they went for the Soul Burners were trying to go for the Burning Man, where it's like a move where like one of them kind of moonsaults off of his shoulders, off Ryan.
Yeah,
it's very cool looking. I will say that. I'm mad we didn't get to see it. Sick. Yeah, Matt didn't get to see it, but he got the Adam Thornstowe got his knees up, and he countered with a roll up. So he rolled up. How do you say his name?
No.
Did he?
Luster got his knees up.
Oh, Luster got his knees up. Yeah.
Luster, the one that kind of looks like Brian Cage.
Yeah. Basically a roll up. He got the roll up for the win. Ryan Taylor, he basically had his back turned and he thought he hit the move cleanly, but unfortunately he did not. So pretty solid match. I gave it 3 stars. I really liked it.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars too. Keep your eyes on the prize, Ryan Taylor, but I did like the match a lot, and that ending, like it feels like some shit that DIY would do at some point in NXT. Yeah. if it like shit didn't go south, like I feel like that's definitely an ending that happened before, but I was fairly entertained by it.
So that was episode 381 of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Again, 2 matches I didn't mind. I thought this, it was pretty solid matches from 2 up and coming wrestlers, and one match with 2 up and coming tag teams that I thought was really solid, and one match that kind of just confused me. Like I don't know, we're almost a year later into the feud starting nearly, and a couple of months removed from the match actually happening, and David Arquette actually doing another match after that almost killed him. What this run did for David and what this match did for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, like I have no clue how that really got them over in any way, shape, or form. Like even telling people or telling the viewers like we're gonna take you straight to TMZ and tell you what happened. Like the average wrestling fan is not looking at TMZ for any of their type of news. That's just not what's going on. It's like, why do we care? Like even at the end, it's like, so what? So David lost. And that was it. There was nothing to gain from that. I don't think going over David Arquette gets you over in any way, shape, or form. Like he's an old actor who was cool when Scream was hot. Like it's not happening.
Yeah. Definitely in this period where like social media is such a thing, like, PCO came back, and he's like mad old dude and he just like does a whole bunch of spots. David Arquette could have been a spot monkey for like 2 matches or whatever, but nah, doesn't capture the hearts of anybody for this shit, honestly. I didn't even know this match existed until I saw the Twitter story, so how much it did for Championship Wrestling. David Arquette quits he quits wrestling in November after his match with Nick Gage, so
2 months after.
This shit did nothing for him.
But it did nothing for RJ City either. I just think a cool moment, cool thing you could put in your resume. But I mean, all in all, like I didn't see anything from this that would make me want to even go back and watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I even thought the show was kind of weirdly put together, even with the backstage angles. It's like commentary wasn't that great. The backstage angles were like, these guys cannot cut promos. Like these, this is bad.
I think Reno Scum did an okay promo. It's not amazing, but whatever. Like middle of the road kind of promo. Honestly, like watching this whole thing, I was just like, man, hopefully, like I was just thinking the whole time, like, man, hopefully these guys like, pull up at PWG at some point,
Yeah, hopefully. At least Chris Bay. I thought Chris Bay was very, very good. And Ryan Taylor, as we both said, very promising guy. Like very, very cool spots that he pulled off in the main event. And I think that he's somebody that I'll definitely be looking out for in the future.
Yeah, if I see that name, on a Bola tweet or something, shit like that, I'll for sure check him out. I definitely think. He's a good performer to check out for in the future. Him and Chris Bay.
For sure.
Reno Scum, maybe they'll pull up in for a PWG match, like a Mysterious Vortex or something.
So yes, that was our show for the week. We were originally gonna do another show, and I said, you know what, let's not do another show. Let's not do another show. Let's just let this sit where it was.
I watched another show just to prep if we were gonna do another one, but we were just like, nah.
let's let this one sit. This is a nice show to talk about. And just talk about how the world, the world of social media and wrestling kind of converge, and it's something that we've seen a lot, even with WWE, where it's like, a lot of these angles get made on social media, and then they spill out into the actual show. I will say the one thing that the David Arquette thing did do is that it showed that a lot of different people can jump in on this, and eventually show up on the shows and get over and attempt to get over with this, even if this is on like a micro level of that with guys that we don't normally see on TV all the time. So it's a good show to watch in terms of that, and it got us to watch it just to see what happened with this.
Yeah, I definitely think the people that do the indie scene that does the social media thing very well is GCW. I think Joey Janela and whatever the hell they're doing over there, it just works. Like, it really gets the crowd excited for anything that they do,
because it comes off as authentic.
Yeah, I just think it's great. When I follow them on Twitter, and whenever they have a show, I'm like genuinely excited to see it.
For sure. Speaking of Joey Janela, next month's episode of Spot Callers, we will be reviewing Joey Janela's Spring Break 2, and we'll have a guest star, my A show compatriot, our compadre himself, Meals TV. We're gonna make him watch a Joey Janela show.
Wait, has he agreed to this yet, or are we just throwing him under the bus?
Well, he said it on here now, so he's got to do it.
Oh no! But yeah, we get on this card. Yeah, we have the infamous Walter and PCO match, the match that just brought back PCO into the mainstream again, and we get Matt Riddle versus James Ellsworth.
Oh boy, can't wait for that
funny match. Oh, bro.
Can't wait for that. So yes, next month, big month on the A Show RNC channel. Of course, we have that coming up. We have our WrestleMania prediction show. We have our WrestleMania show coming in the next couple of weeks. April is a huge month for wrestling in general.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our damnedest to make sure that we bring you guys the best content. We'll actually also have a new show debuting next month as well. And we're going to keep that on the low right now, but we do have more stuff coming out. You can't tell me everything.
That shit's so low, I didn't even know about it. Okay, that's crazy.
On, man. Backroom deals, sorry.
Oh shit,
it's backroom deals, bro. But of course, subscribe or square the hell up to the A Show Network. We're always putting up new stuff, and of course you have the A Show Weekly. You have Spot Callers monthly as well. Follow us on Twitter at RNC Radio Live. Like, subscribe, or comment to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Google Play. And until next time, please do not watch any more David Arquette matches after this. For Cyrus, I am Justin. Please make sure you're playing a lot of Devil May Cry 5 this month as you await the next episode of Spot Callers. Until next time, peace.